These here are the 1997 Orion 5s, the first and only fleet of Orion 5s for one out of the 7 private bus lines. Now, the fleet numbers that these buses range from are 5500 to 5550, and those were solely delivered to Green Lines, making them the first out of all of the 7 private bus lines to ever have Orion 5 diesels. 5546 to 5550 were originally Queen Surface units and were originally numbered as 700 to 705, but unfortunately, Queen Surface was not satisfied with their performance, so by 2000, they were given over to Green Lines and were renumbered as 5546 to 5550. So these Orion 5s were supposed to be delivered to the New Orleans Regional Transit Authority and the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority. New Orleans was supposed to receive 85 units numbered as 97300 to 97384, but unfortunately, 59 of them were rejected, resulting in 48 units being acquired by the NYC DOT, and 11 of these Orion 5s ended up going to Coach USA in New Jersey. WMATA was supposed to receive 420 of these buses in total. 220 were only delivered, resulting in 200 more of these buses being rejected. 3 of them ended up going to the NYC DOT, while the rest of the 197 rejected units were delivered to Mississauga Transit, Whitby Transit, and Coach USA. Many people may argue that 5500 to 5550 are ex-WMATA units, but 5500 to 5541, along with 5543, as well as 5546 to 5550, are actually ex-NORTA units, while 5542, along with 5544 to 5545, are actually ex-WMATA units. Now moving on to the specs. So these Orion 5s were delivered with brand new features that were different, unlike their cousins at New York City Transit. These originally came with the Voltron destination signs, then they were later given the Luminator Hanover destination signs. These also featured 2x2 blue seats and a slightly different rear door configuration. These were also the first buses out of all of the 7 private bus lines to ever feature the Alcoa rims, which honestly they stand out more, but by the early 2000s, Green Lines had the Alcoa rims removed, but either way, they still looked amazing with or without the Alcoa rims. Now moving on to the powertrain. So these Orion 5s signify the use of the Detroit Diesel Series 50 engine with the Allison B400R transmission. Together, they sound like this. what do I think about these Orion 5s? Well, they're good buses, they're unique. But even though I haven't rode on these Orion 5s before and after the takeover, but I remember seeing them countless times under MTA Bus Company. But aside from that, they were well liked by the public, even though there were a few nitpicks by both drivers, passengers, and transit fans, especially the mechanics. But hey, what could you do? When MTA took over the 7 private bus lines, 99% of these units survived the takeover, and by 2007, 50 units remained in service. 5500 to 5518, along with 5520 to 5550, were renumbered as 5938 to 5987. Unfortunately, 5519 was the only unit to not survive the takeover, as it was written off before Green Lines was even taken over. By 2012, many of these buses started to leave the property due to several structural problems and due to the incoming order of LFSAs taking their original fleet numbers. And by late 2012, all of these Orion 5s were officially retired, with 0% of these units being preserved for the museum fleet. So, as for these Green Lines Orion 5s, these buses are gone, but most certainly will not be forgotten. They will always be remembered as Green Lines and MTA Bus Company's most unique fleet of Orion 5s. So with that being said, this is Sonic 57053 wishing you guys a happy Halloween, stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks for watching.